Hello, everyone out there in internet land, and oh my god, damn it, I had this ready! Welcome to Tinker, Tailor, Solder Fry, the Let's Try program here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. This time broadcasting to you from within the paint booth within the Crystal Gondola of the Palatial Main Tiltia Studios here in beautiful downtown Victoria, British Columbia. Not, in fact, in the Southern Hemisphere, as you may guess. So let's fix up where we're coming from here. Boop, boop. Nope, didn't fix that one either. Okay, here we go. Everybody ready? Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Here we go. So right, where was I? Yes. This is a Let's Try program. And what a Let's Try program means is that we are going to do a thing. Something we may or may not have done before, usually things we haven't, because we're trying new things. Today, the new thing we're trying is, actually, we are trying some new things. We're going to try some new airbrush needles today. But this is part 7 of our long-running project for this year, I guess, which is to complete and paint the Gunpla known as the MSN-004 Nightingale. Which was a mobile suit from an alternate version of the movie version of Char's Counterattack. And now we are here. Now we're at the painting stage. Last time we were here, we'd done some work on painting, and we'd managed to get some stuff primed and ready to go, and it looked all nice and black. And then we were going to add some red. And then I ran out of paint. The red can look quite nice when you put it on a spoon, but when you run out of gas to propel the paint through your airbrush, things can get difficult. Unfortunately, in the meantime as well, we had a little bit of an issue with the airbrush in the sense that it developed a chip in the nozzle. And we'll go through that and we'll have a look at what that looks like. Hopefully we can see it. Had to order some new needles and figured this would be a good opportunity for me to try out some different needles. I've been using the fine needle, which I believe is a 0.15 aperture, 0.15 millimeter aperture. You know what? The packaging doesn't actually tell me on this. So I went ahead and ordered the fine conversion, the medium conversion, and the heavy conversion for when we want to lay down a lot of paint in a hurry. Those just arrived today, and things are very warm here in the Crystal Gondola, I should mind as well. So please try not to mind the added noise from outdoors, should we have that. Okay, let us get all up in our work area, and there we go. I'm going to put the camera, or not the camera, the keyboard down there. Oh, yes, as always, we like to, well, not as always, but many people like to find out what I'm drinking today. I do like to have a little beverage along with our modeling. Today is Raised by Wolves from not Category 12, Driftwood Brewing here in Victoria, British Columbia. It is a 7% IPA, and it is delicious, but not heavy, the way that their Fat Tug line of IPAs goes. All right, I'm gonna have to just move my things here so I can keep an eye on the chat while we do this today. So yeah, we're gonna need to mix up some paint, a bit more of the red for that. So we've got our, this is currently, ooh, where have I got that? We have notes. We are in the process of using 20 drops of brown to 80 drops, an 80-20 ratio of Vallejo Mecha Color Red and Vallejo Mecha Color Brown. And it's been working out quite well for us there. But before we do that, we're going to need to deal with adding some speckled white to our setup here. Just let's remove the spoons. We don't need the spoons at the moment. But what we do need are those airbrush things. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with today. We're going to get these up on sprues, and then we're going to give these some shading with the white. And then when we're done, we'll hit it with a nice light coat of the red. And then that will have things ending up looking like this friend here, which actually does come across quite nicely on camera. Yeah, it's doing a good job. And yeah, we'll get that nice shaded red color. So happy about that. All right, let's put these away for the moment, and then let's deal with that that airbrush needle first. I want to see if I can show off the damage done to it. So your airbrush is basically, this is it. What it does is there's a button here which turns on gas, and that allows the air to flow through the device. Then also, because of the double action, second action is the pulling back, and that will pull the needle out of a collar and a nozzle on the front end. And you can adjust, how far back you want that to go, how far it can go in and out, etc. Quite adjustable there. But today our concern is going to be on the front end here. So what we've got here is you've got your place where your paint goes. That goes through there. You can see the needle inside. And then you've got your guard here, which is there to protect the needle itself and the nozzle from accidentally jamming it against something that might damage it. Your hand probably not going to be damaging, but if you're hitting a piece of bodywork or some plastic, you might end up jamming the end of your needle and causing it to deform. And if you get a deformed needle, you're going to get very different and very unpredictable results with how your paint spreads when it comes out of the airbrush. You want everything to be predictable, fine, and not spattery. And a needle that has any sort of a deformity in it is going to allow a place for paint to collect as it comes out of the atomization chamber. And when it does collect, that forms droplets. And when the droplets get big enough, they get caught by the air and fly out onto your model, ruining whatever paint job you'd tried to lay down in a nice form. So I was noticing having some problems with the paint, laying down some primer the other day, and I was like, well, why is it spattering in these places? But primer, it's not so much of a problem because your primer can go on. You want a thick coat. You want complete coverage. You're not trying to feather it in, as it were. But I was noticing it happening. I thought, well, geez, before I actually get into doing any more red work, I probably want to deal with this because otherwise that could be a problem. Small, changes to the needle. There is some play in there. Let's see if we can actually get this to be viewable. Let me see if I can zoom in a way that's helpful. So that is, what is causing the vibration right now? It's not currently touching anything. Interesting. Okay, well, let's try that anyway. Let's zoom in if we can. Zoom is currently 1.0. So let's jack that in a bit. Oh, man, that is terrible. Oh, there we go. That might do it. It might just be that it was touching the edges of the thing. There we go. That's a lot more predictable. And then let's see if we can't get a magnifying glass in there to magnify that up. No, there we go. Maybe. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out the way that I wanted it to. Oh, there we go. That's how it works. Okay. God, I had it perfectly in shot, and then I beefed everything. Closer, I think. Yes, there we go. Okay. See, there's the needle. There's the retraction of said needle. It's in and out. You probably can't see it here because it's hard even for me to see with my eyes, but there is a very small chip along the edge of that nozzle. And so that's what we're going to be replacing today, is the nozzle and the needle. Hopefully that should give you an idea of what that's looking like right now. Let's bring back the chat there. Okay, so we got that. Showed you the needle. Next step is to remove the front end of this, and does require a slight amount of torque. I'm going to put the protector back on there. Not that there's really much of a reason for it, but grab that. Oh, wait, no, I have a wrench for this. That's better. 1 second, please. And so for those curious, I've been working on the fine nozzle ever since I started airbrushing. So I'm going to drop it down to the medium today, and hopefully we can enjoy some good accuracy but better paint flow. That cranks open. And here is going to be an interesting view. So there's our needle. And as you can see, this is there's a small hole right down there. That's where the air comes out. And so that all mixes in the back end of this and provides the path for the air to go through. And for the paint, so the air goes around the outer edges, but also not through the center. And then the needle comes through, releasing the paint out through, and then it's pushed along by the air. So I'm excited for anything. That's how she works. They come with a little Teflon, let's say, not a valve, it's like an O-ring. Seal, that's the word. Technically, I believe it is possible to remove just the edge of just the nozzle portion itself, but beware of the cost. For me, the cost was about the cost of an entire conversion kit. Thankfully, these are not that expensive. Medium. Here we go. Let's crack it open. Let's get our new needles out. I really should have labeled these, actually. What do we get in the box here? Oh, wow. They give you the whole shebang, except for... Aha, there it is. The end piece. I'm surprised that they're giving me the whole shebang here, because usually they don't. Let's make sure that those are the same. Yep, good. Okay. Yeah, last time I didn't get the fresh tip. I was curious because this one, I'm not sure if you can see that there. Oops. There's a tiny F that demarks it as the fine one. So we're just going to swap it out for a medium. And if you're curious, the reason you need to swap the needle when you swap the end piece is because the nozzle is sized for the needle. They are a matched pair. Let's put those away so we don't get them mixed up. Okay, let's get the little Teflon ring on. Screw that back into the airbrush, being very careful not to cross thread because these are very small threads. Give it a little bit of a tighten with the wrench, and then put that down there. We'll leave the wrench over here for later, and get the needle out. Hopefully protected by a thing. Oh yeah, you can see, I can see by my eyes that this is already a thicker needle. I wonder if we can give a comparison. The right one is the right, and the left is the left. That to me looks like, oh yeah, look at the difference. That's readily apparent on the just the end of that needle. The one on the left just almost disappears into my skin, and the ones on the right, much more medium. What I'm surprised at actually is the length of this needle. That's gonna come right out the end of this this here thing, this here airbrush. It's the point where I think it's actually going to go past the end. Let's get that in there. Slide through. till you get to the end, and it's in place. And we're just going to lock that off. Cover back up. Oh, look at that. Nice and clean. No poking out. Just barely. All right. I think that is a conditioned airbrush. Yeah. The next step I was thinking of doing was actually doing a... Oh, yeah, we should test the brush to see what kind of spread it's going to be. I'll just do that on the paper here rather than on a piece of model, and then we'll worry about getting some model pieces out and ready to go. Let's move the red paint over because we'll get to that in a second. But before we paint with paint, we need to do one more thing, and that's stir our paint. This is the white I've been using for this because it's terrible craft paint from the dollar store mixed with windshield washer fluid, as you can see. Let's mix that up. So we're just gonna have some fun here today. So for that, we'll use a handy-dandy coffee mixer. I bought the coffee mixer from IKEA, thinking it might be cheaper than the paint mixer. Turns out they're about the same price, so do as you will. But in terms of mixing paint, that does one heck of a job. Zanzibar, today we are using nothing in terms of a dry inhibitor. Because we're going to be... Because of the size of the paints that we're working with, or the amount that we're putting down, the volume, rather, I don't think we necessarily need anything in the way of inhibiting. It's just going to go on and dry all speckledy. Give that to the Bendum here. Right, good stuff. What I do need to do is get my pipette for transferring paint. Let's grab one of the uglier ones here. There we go. The red paint's in a dripper bottle, so that can go straight into the airbrush itself, but unfortunately I have not dripper bottled the white because I just keep adding to it. So, the problem though with using the dripper bottles is you'll find that the dripper bottles are too small to fit the paint stir stick in. I suppose if you used a dedicated paint stirring device, which has a much smaller end piece on it, it might be a little bit easier to do that if you so chose. And in the future, I might so choose. There's my keyboard. I want to pull off the zoom here a bit, because we have a lot of stuff to see in a second here. Camera and the zoom. Let's take you folks back to the level 1 zoomage. Okay. And then take a quick sip of the drink. Okay, dokie. Oh, Zanzibar says usually is used to keep the needle from drying out and causing spatter. Just curious because mine came with some. Interesting. I have not used it, but maybe I should give it a try. It's that's the fun thing about airbrushing, is that you learn about all sorts of fun little fluids that you can use. Let's bang you against my microphone here. Ugh, this feels a lot less good when the body is slightly sweaty, but we'll have to make do, won't we? All right, let's check out how much paint this thing puts out. Oh, heck yeah. Fill up my cup. Mazel tov. I'm a big fan of getting it started, is what I'm saying. But that one... The Black Eyed Peas jammed a lot into that one particular lyric. Fill up my cup, drink what I am muzzle tov. All right. Can we see the Ian Horner? We cannot see the Ian Horner. I almost wiped paint directly onto my pants, so that's good. Thank you, Nagoki. 0.22 millimeters for fine, 0.5 millimeters for medium, and 0.76 for large. Yeah, as much as I enjoy my brush, it's a hard one to find parts for. Okay. Gotta be sure not to release the paint too early, but I think this will do. This will do nicely. Okay, good. In which case, let's pop off the mask and let's get some parts on sticks. Get some spruage going here. I'm gonna put that there. Gonna put that there. Gonna bring in my cat toy. And let's, oh right, we don't want to use the cat toy just yet because I found it's, it can get in the way actually. Let's flip this over though so we've got a bit of a clean surface to work with here. Alrighty, where are my lamps? Alligator, things. Grab a few of those. Let's get some parts on there. Let's start with feet stuff. Always start with feet. I like to grip them in holes if I can, because I know nothing goes there. You can see where I clipped on this one here. Boop, boop. Let's get the footies. Big toe, or one of the toes. Always confused as to which one it is. Good, that's a piece there. Big skirtin'. Good. I think this is a knee piece, I think. And what have we got here? Ooh, yeah, this one's got interior painting that we'll need to deal with too, so I'm just going to give that a little stick. Don't give him the stick. Whoa, do you know my dad? And scene. I mean, the big boy's going to have to get painted at some point too, but let's start with some of the smaller pieces. You know what? Yeah, let's live dangerously. Let's get right into it. Let's prepare as much as we can here. More of these. I think this is the forearm here you're looking at. Piece of toe and some cuffs and sleeves. More of these here. Princess Intel, do you have any display plans for this figure at Loading Ready Run? Absolutely I do. I plan to display this figure at Loading Ready Run. I was thinking about... honestly, I was planning to bring in the Dendrobium to display on set there. And it turns out that I like it too much. I've been enjoying it at home. So we'll see when it comes in. But... yeah, no, I mean, the Gunpla on the Loading Ready Live set is very deep, actually, in terms of the planning for that set. That was when Graham drew up the plans for what it was going to look like. That was, I believe, the only piece of tat that he had put on a shelf as an indication of what the size of the shelves should be and what was eventually going to go there, because he knew that I was going to eventually put a Gundam there, and he was right. He was very right to believe that. Oh, these things are such a pain sometimes. These are the, I guess you could say the receptacles for the funnels. but they are of a certain size. Once we get these clipped up, I'm just going to transfer them over to the side, and I can deal with them as we get to them. One way to make your niche hobby a business expense. For instance, as you can tell, I am very aware of how many of my hobbies I have monetized, and I was trying desperately to not monetize this hobby, and then I realized that I would like to paint this kit, and it was going to take a long time, and I thought, why not enjoy ourselves together as a stream? So we did. That doesn't need coating, that doesn't need coating, that doesn't need whitening. When I say it doesn't need them, it's because these pieces are going to be black. These are bottom of the feets, and the feets, I don't believe, are being painted in the red. This, however, definitely is. You can tell because it has red on the back of the other side. Finan! Yeah, someone will probably hit you up with the link in a second, but we're looking at, this is what it did look like when we finished building it. We didn't apply any decals yet, because there will be decals to be applied later, but that's part of the reason why we're doing taking our time on this build, is because I bought a big old decal kit and some extra parts and whatnot, and we're going to do it up right. By extra parts, I mean metal conversion pieces for thrusters and for some hoses and whatnot. These pieces are going to be painted white, so they don't get a coating this round. Also white, I think. I'm just going to move all of my black parts to a singular position here, and then do the same thing with the white parts. Get some bonus knolling going on stream. Okay, white parts here, white, white, white. You're gonna get a very creamy coating later. It's gonna look fabulous. We're gonna mix up a custom white paint that's gonna be mostly white, but it'll have some other bits to it. What a terrible song. All right, I think those are the black bits. Let's stop with the sorting and let's get on with the painting, shall we? Let's stick this to the side. I'm gonna just move these things on sticks over there as well. And hopefully we'll be able to get to a stage where we can actually get some red on today. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem because we are, as I said, full of gas, full of paint. We have no consumables to worry about right now. Princess Intel says, has the white already been chosen, or is this going to be a shopping for wall paint? Turns out the answer is no. We're going to make a custom color for this, much like we did with the red. We might actually break into the Chimera colors again for maybe some of these deeper ones. But again, as we mentioned in previous shows, Bandai is nice enough to provide us with a color guide of what we need. And the red is what we're using here, which is an 80% red with a 20% brown. And for the white, the body white parts, they're looking at 100% white plus a small dose of RLM75 gray. So I guess we're just, making a slight off-white. Finan, I don't think Bandai makes paints, but most paints are... these might be coded for Tamiya paints? I'm not entirely certain. But sometimes they'll actually provide you with the actual codes for the paints that you want. Code Indigo saying, what up, Ian? Tuning in from my fab, and I'm thrilled it's time for TTSF. Me too! Been on tenterhooks waiting to get more time into this build because Again, for those of you not aware, this is a two-stage build. You get to see one part of it, and the other part I get to do as homework at home. Otherwise, we'd be doing the whole thing on stream, and that's way too much painting. Way too much painting. The Mr. Color, yeah, from the other company. It's not Tamiya. Load up the thing here. We're gonna backwash the paint just a bit to stir it up. I'm not adding any thinner to this particular paint run because that's being taken care of by the windshield washer fluid. I keep almost calling it antifreeze, and I'm trying to get myself out of that. But one thing I have done, where'd you go? Where's my hand protection? Aha! I did splurge and pick up some boxes, or a box of nitrile gloves, because I was getting sick of deeply exfoliating my hands after every paint job. Now we've got something there. Yeah, it's people mentioning there that there's different color equivalency charts as well, and I know that specifically the hobby shop that I bought these airbrush parts from, because BC Hobby doesn't carry Badger airbrush parts. Looking at you, BC Hobby. Actually, I should write you a letter because I'd like to support my local shop more. But the place in Ontario was able to send me the necessary pieces, and they have a paint chart for Vallejo to Tamiya colors and back and forth. Anyway, let's lay down some very thin white highlight. Oh, this is definitely more paint than than I was getting out of the previous brush. But I think we're still going to be okay with regards to the highlighting there. All right, part 2. Lay out some... Oh, that's a problem. I'm not running out of gas, am I? God, please tell me I'm not running out of gas. Temperatures are just probably messing with me here. Let's open that up, and let's jack that back up to 60. Or not 60, we want 20 psi is what we want on our gas. 20 psi when it's running, so that's about 5 psi over. Or 1.5 bar for those of you who calculate in bar. Alright, let's try that again. There we go. That's more like what we want to see. Huh. Interesting. I'm not exactly happy with how this particular needle's acting right now. Just check the cleanliness here. Back down. Because we're getting some spatter already. Hopefully we don't need, we don't actually need any of that retarder. Okay. Good. Feels good there. Good. It might be the paint, or it might be, it's doubtful that it's the needle, to be honest. And the reason I can say that with consistency is that I've used this paint a number of times now. It hasn't been a problem yet. It's still not a problem at the moment, but you just want the slightest. But I wonder if I might go back to the fine, actually, for other parts of this build. It's surprising because, if anything, you'd think that having a larger diameter would actually make this this whole process a lot. Whew, that is some moisture on me. Would make this whole process a bit easier to apply the paint. I think it's still looking good though. Actually, I might just jack up that pressure just a bit more. Because actually, that now that I think about it, might have something to do with it. If we're letting more paint out with every pull, we might want some more gas to actually start moving that paint a little bit more reliably. And that actually, it already feels better on the paper here. See how it feels against the plastic. Oh yeah, that's where we're learning. That's where the learning comes in. Out of spite, of course, but it's good. Yeah, more pressure means more paint coming through, meaning it needs, well, not more pressure means more paint. Wider bore means more paint is going to come through regardless of how much we do, so we want more air to be able to propel said paint. Keep them coming here. Whew. Okay. Good. Still more parts. Take them out in a way that's handleable. I don't. That's good. This is another problem with model building I've found in my limited experience, is that if you're taking your time with things, there's going to be a certain amount of time where things just look like absolute trash to you. And that's just part of the building process. Just trying to get a bit of a white bit and a bit of highlight too from on the top. Not too much, but just a bit. Okay, that one's good. Maybe a bit more. Flimsy's sake. This one's kind of good. You get pretty close. Let's try that out here. Okay. Good, good. Keeping on, keeping on. There we go. Don't want to get too much inside the center there, because I want that to be nice and in shadow. That's the idea. Who knows how effective that's going to be. But we'll see. Murph, no, this is post-priming. What we're doing now is essentially a pre-shading with the white. The parts were originally red, and we gave them a good coat in Vallejo black primer. And we're looking pretty good. Let's see with this one. That ends up as a go. I like the way that looks. A bit more on top. Great. Just a couple more here, and then we've got our big boy. This is black. This shouldn't be. That one shouldn't be shaded right now either. But these ones do get a shade. The little receptacles. Shot across the bow, as it were. Oh, I really like the way these look, even in the black and white. Unfortunately, the camera really doesn't do them justice. But they really shine. I mean, they don't shine. You know what I'm saying. Enough to make it look interesting, give it texture. That's really what I'm going for with this this style of painting and looking is trying to add an interesting shade and texture, at least visual texture, if not actual physical texture to the paint. Okay, I think that's oh, other than got one more big boy here. Our good friend. So let's have a look and compare this to what we did here. Basically what I'm going to be trying to do, as you can see the differences here, is avoid the edges if I can and try and stay close to the middle. Because it's a big part, this may be challenging. Okay. So far, so good, I think. And just across the top for the highlight. There, just make it even. Center that out a bit. A little bit more right there. But you can see already, it's starting to, you can see the edges becoming blacker along the edge there. And that's going to carry through when we get the red on top. So bang! I'm excited for that. Hey, Wheeler and friends, it's the rodeo. Welcome to Tinker Tailor Solar Friday. We're building Gunpla. Building Gunpla. And we're actually about to swap paints, it looks like. Unless we want to continue shading, but I think because it is such a small painting scale, I bet we can just, if we take the time to clean our brush out, we should be able to move right on to that. So I'm going to put these, I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to put those pieces behind on the other side of the fan for a second while we clean our brush. Just give me 1 second while we do that. How's our time? Oh, perfect. We might just actually end up taking a break too. But we'll clean the brush first while we are here. Second, gently place these in the drying zone. Okay. Whew. Here looks, yeah, it's, I even do this masking while I'm just painting at home. It's good practice because 2 reasons. I understand that acrylic paints aren't really as necessary to mask for, but you're always getting particulate matter in the air anyway, so it's a good idea to wear one regardless. But it's also good practice for me if I ever decide to start working with lacquer paints, where you're going to absolutely want to be masked up the entire time for that, but I do think I'm going to have to upgrade my filters if I'm going to be doing that. That said, I'm also looking at 3D resin printing, so I'm probably going to need to upgrade my filters for that anyway. Where were we at? We're cleaning out the brush. Let's do that. Boop. Yes, here on Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, unless I'm being extremely lazy, you get to see the whole process from soup to nuts. All the warty details. That's... wasn't much paint left in there. That was good. Good on me. All right, let's just dab that in there with some cleaning fluid. Swirl that around with a Q-tip. That'll get most of the dried up paint, which we don't want going through anyway. Pick any up on the way down. Oh yeah, there's plenty there. Roll that out there, and then empty it out. Have a little look. Squirt some more paint in there. Squirt it out. Do a bit more of a cleanup along the sides of the cup. So you start getting extra pigment in your paints, and it's no good. Now, you may think that's a clean cup. Let's put some more in there. It's not quite clean by my book, so let's give it a bit of a backwash there. Help. Throw it out. And finally, we're going to give them just a little bit back in there. And we'll see if it paints clean. Let's go down here. That, to me, seems like 0 pigment. So I think we are good to go with regards to that. In that case, we still have a few minutes left before the top of the hour, so why don't we take the time to mix up a bit more of this paint here while we're at it. Shake this thing up here. And Texan Reverend enters the chat, I'm sure a few minutes ago, chanting resin, 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 resin. People in the waiting room banging their clipboards, resin, 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 resin. Yeah, haven't been thinking about it, haven't pulled the trigger yet. Looking at the Mars, the Elegoo Mars 2, again, thanks to Texan Reverend for help out, and then the sounding board for choosing printer tech. But I think there happens to be an international holiday coming up, so might want to. I'm going to wait until we see if there's any sort of Labor Day sales before we do that. Because why not take advantage of reduced profits for large multi-million-dollar corporations. Okay. Oh, got some on my finger there. Some paint. That's no good, boss. Okay, so we are going to need to count out 80 drops of this. Thrill as Ian counts. So we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80 drops. Yes, that is 80 drops by my counting. And then we're going to do 20 of the brown. But Indigo says I've had a lot better luck with the Photon Mono 4K than the Mars personally. Good to have data points. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's our brown. And finally, we're going to add some thinner to that because it does take a little bit of thinner. We're going to do 50. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 150 drops. That takes us actually just about up to the... that's a really good level of paint. We're going to need a lot of paint for this particular build, but that's looking good. Let's give that a good shake, too. Really mix that up. Man, I was really I was hot and cold on resin. You know, going, yeah, resin, great, lots of fun. Ooh, wait, too much difficulty, too much cleanup, and caution is the other one. Thankfully, we're using our second bathroom in our place as sort of a staging ground for, well, it's where the current 3D FDM printer lives, because it vents to the outside via a fan. So it makes sense. We just keep the door closed and keep the fan on the whole time. But honestly, in terms of cleanup and whatnot, I'm leaning towards actually getting myself a one of the Mercury X, or not the Mercury X, the Mercury Plus, whichever the cheaper version of the cleanup system is, just because it makes sense in my mind to really compartmentalize and keep the cleanliness pieces together into one sort of thing. What does worry me though is disposal of old resin, and specifically disposal of the old cleaning fluids, but stuff to figure out. Because yeah, as Level points out, picked up a bottle of water-soluble resin, so looking forward to trying that out this weekend. Love the idea of the water-soluble resin. You cannot clean those prints off under the tap. Please do not. If any resin gets into the groundwater, it is going to things up, and you don't want that. So get ready for Ian to bleat on about resin safety probably sometime in the next few months. That said, we are at the top of the hour, which is a good time for us to take a break because we do those things. So get up, swap your fluids, stretch your legs, and I will be back with, well, we'll be putting this on some plastic in just a few minutes. Don't go all Don't go all the way away. Smooth. Welcome back, everybody, to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. We are in the process of airbrushing some Gunpla parts for the MSN-004 Nightingale builds, which we are doing in custom colors with mixtures of some Vallejo Mecha Color paint. We've mixed up our paint. We're ready to go. And I think we're ready to add our, well, not add, we're ready to actually spray the pieces that we've just previously highlighted. I should have probably picked those up before I sat down, but here we are. I'm just going to pull them out from the back end of the fan here. If you're curious as to what it is that I'm looking at right now, check out my my feed on Twitter. It's iHorner, twitter.com/iHorner, and I've just before the show posted a wide-angle view of kind of what I'm literally looking at right now. An idea of what goes on behind the magic, because we're currently here in the dining area of my apartment. Don't know if I want to expose the moon base to flying particulate pigment, as it were. Woodland Phil has, have you tried the Last Call BBS? I like their model building and painting simulation. I need to give that a try, because Paul was telling me about that last time I was in studio. We were working on the wheel, and that was, it seemed like an interesting, fun little build game. You know what? Oh my god. I have just dumped all of my alligator clip sticks out on the chair next to me. So let's hope we don't need those again for the show. What was I doing over here, though? Yes, I was grabbing spoons. Because, as you can see, we've done some previous work here, testing out the reds, the various types of reds that we could have used. We settled, I believe, on this was the Mecha color, and I've got some extra ones here. You can see the difference in how much coverage the white gives, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a test bed for the paint on the medium needle, because, like I said, unsure of how that goes. Fluids got refreshed. Never refresh your fluids. Unless you're at, like, I don't know, what is that? You're at about 200,000 miles. That's when you're supposed to refresh your fluids. Just be sure to feed your car, is what I'm saying. Okay. I got mask on in the right place. I hate. I will know when the pandemic is over, because I will no longer have to wipe the oil marks from masks that go down the sides of my my glasses. Upsetting. All right, let's get a few drops into that airbrush, and let's see about making that spoon back red. Ew, that's a lot of gunk on the end of that nozzle there. Let's clean that up a bit, just a wee bit. Using the end of the... Oh, that's fine. That's just fine. There we go. Get some of that gunk out of that lid. Okay, what do you think? 5, 10 drops? Let's do 10. It's a start. Side. Disgusting water over there. Okay. And let's... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is what it's all about. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Okay, we can continue on with the work. Yeah, I'm going to be happy with that. Okay. Let's start with an innocuous part, shall we? And it doesn't get more innocuous than whatever piece this is. Okay. Still got paint? Yeah, let's, you know what, let's add another 20 drops just for funsies. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20! I don't know why I'm providing music all of a sudden, but okay, so we got this piece. I want to take a half second and compare against the other red one of these that I've done, just to make sure that we're, as I said, on the right track. I am very paranoid. So I'm going to have to walk away from the table a fair bit. Grab the other bins parts here. Alrighty, we're back. Okay, what do we got in here? This is this is part of my homework. This is the big back end of, and by big I mean big back end. Get the shield here. Just recently primed those up. That's for later. Here's what we've done earlier. And okay, I think we're on the right track here. I think we're safe. Let's look at that. Yeah, in fact, I could probably do with a bit more on there. I always get a little bit paranoid because too much. I want things to be relatively symmetrical, but if I'm not painting both sides at the same time, it's hard to figure it out. But yeah, I think we're good. Right, we're just gonna add a bit more there to it. I'm gonna keep these in view to the side, well, just so I can quickly compare and contrast and say, have I gone too far or have I not gone too far enough? There we go. That seems nice. Okay, we'll leave that alone now. A bit of undercoat just to make sure that the edges still look nice when we put it together. Oh, okay. Toad piece. So, yeah, let's compare this too, just for funsies, because what else are we going to do? There we go. Okay, so I wanted to make this like this. So we just very slowly add and build up the color a bit until we get a nice gradient going on there. 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 Top. I found the best way to think about it is you just want to see the white and black disappear, in the sense that you don't want them to be distinct colors anymore. You just want them to be masked behind the. Did I get that right? Survey says I'm going to say yes, but it does tend to darken a bit as it actually dries and becomes a bit more matte. We're going to need to do a slight undercoat on the inside here too. Just give that a bit of a. There we go. That seems like what. Simulate the light sources. Look at a bit more top there. I think that's good. I'm going to be pleased with that. Well, that's cool to know, Tex. I had no idea that this mask was compatible with a positive pressure pump. But yeah, no, this is the cheapest. Well, it is, yes, it is the cheapest 3M mask there is. Beware the size. I think I might need a bigger size than what I've got, but it's got a, it does have a valve, be aware. So if you want to take this to things like a convention that, like PAX, that has regulations against exhalation valve-based masks, this is a no good for that, but it's otherwise fantastic. I've done one day at the office wearing this, back before I didn't go to the office for a while. And by office, I don't mean the loading ready run Moonbase, I mean the other office. By the way, should you be of the union-based persuasion and living in the realms of British Columbia, I would be very pleased if you would perhaps be so kind as to write your MLAs and show your support for the British Columbia General Employees Union, of which I am a member, because we are currently, the union itself is currently engaged in job action against our employer, because they are withholding, well, not withholding, but they're not negotiating in good faith, and the offers we've been getting have been pretty disgusting. And if you're one of those people who thinks, oh, government people get paid too much already, I would counter, maybe you yourself are not getting paid enough yourself. And I would encourage you to look at the options at organizing your own workspace. This has been labor action with Ian. The end. Yeah, no, I do like this mask for the interchangeability of the filters too, and how easy it is to get a positive seal check. I need to put more paint on that. I stopped because I need to add more paint to the cup. Muzzle's off. And I want those edges to be kind of smoky and black. The whole neck's got to be the color that the neck is. I think that's a good one. That's a good looking piece right there. Set that down as well. Dark Moford and Text Room. I have considered using this mask and then putting a what do they call them? The medical mask, the procedure mask, just over the exhalation vent to actually deal with the out vapors. Because that would be fine, for the most part. But yeah, anytime I'm entering a place where there are people where nobody is masking, I have very little problem with wearing this thing, because it's true. Your mask protects you as much as it protects me. It works both ways. And when some people aren't doing the masking, that reduces the effectiveness of the masks worn by those who are wearing them. So wear your freaking masks. This has been Ian doesn't want COVID with Ian. Hey, that's a nice backside, don't you say? Did I get this one right? Yes, I think I did. That seems to be the interior match. Good. Instincts are correct. Okay, let's get another one here. There's a couple of masks that I have been looking at for more regular use, though, that are more conventional, but with more comfortable with replaceable filter materials. I've been doing the inadvisable thing of thinking about getting on a plane at some point, and I understand that the planes themselves not so bad these days, but airports are still a big pile of nope. These pieces go together, so I wanted to have a look at them together and make sure that I've got the right level of. Oh, this one looks like it could use a bit more on the back there. Remember, I'm looking for smoky red, not reddish black. That matters. And these are the arm binders. This is the forearm, so got to make sure that this looks the way I want it to. And it's good because it's going to be a very high visibility part. And I think that's good. I like that. I like where we're going with it. Okay. Big toe. Oh, sorry, distrust inspector. If you are a resident of British Columbia, I would encourage you to write your MLA, your member of the Legislative Assembly, and suggest that they support a living wage for their for the government employees, the GEU union members. It all comes down to inflation, and the numbers that they were offering us were all well below inflation by about 5 percentage points per year, and anything less than a cost of living increase that matches or exceeds inflation is a pay cut, plain and simple. And already, British Columbia employers are, public sector employees are some of the lowest paid in Canada. So it's not even a case of us, asking for raises. It's literally just we want to catch up. We want to be paid fairly. And I honestly think that, yeah, rising tide lifts all boats. Let's be clear. Between 1980 and now, real wages have not risen in step with profits, inflation, etc., etc. Y'all know this, but it's important to reiterate sometimes because we are unless you don't have to think about how much money you're making, you are 100%, you are being underpaid. If you receive a salary, you are underpaid. If you receive a wage, whoo, boy, you best believe you're being underpaid. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But you do go through this paint rather quickly, especially when you thin it 50% with thinner. It definitely does the job. Thinner helps immensely, but okay, let's check this against our other foot. Again, don't want to overpaint. We're very close, I think, to a very small amount of paint is going to be what we need on all sides there. And I think we're good to go there. That's it. For anyone who's looking to, who's saying, oh, Ian's being underpaid, time for me to double up my sub or drop some bits. No, we're well compensated here at Loading Worthy Run, incredibly fairly, and save yourself. There are other people out there who already have too much money that need to have some of that money diverted towards paying the people who do the jobs. It's not your job to pick up their slack. It is our job to make sure that they pay their fair due, though. It may take a little while, but that's what we should be doing. Helping people is a good thing, and making sure that everyone is able to live their best life is important. But charity is a sign of a failed state. We shouldn't need that. All right, binder, not a binder. This is the, what do you call the side crotch bits that are in the front? Sort of like a, let's say, no, not a loincloth, a fundoshi. Oh, there we go. Please do not count up the number of times I say things like, there we go, and oh yeah, that's what we're looking for on stream. I think I may have overpainted this as well, but let's say no, that's looking pretty good. Let's give it a quick blast with that, even it out. Once that dries, that's going to be relatively similar. The lighting's not the best, but there we go. Okay, you don't know how much joy, though, it's giving me to see more parts coming out red like this. we joked about it on at the end of AFK this week. As Beej was saying, oh, didn't this thing originally come red? And like, yes, it did, but I made it a better red. And, seeing the red that it comes out compared to the red it was is night and day. Just completely different. You can see a bit of the red on the backside here of what essentially you could if you were me, but you're not. Well, it's a painted red. It's not a molded plastic red. It's not a pigment that is 100% the same color everywhere. It's these are supposed to be extremely large machines, and so I have always assumed that when you can paint these things in such a way that it looks like you're dealing with large areas. And you're going to have a bit of shading differences on both sides. You're going to have atmospheric interference in between. Not to mention the whole wartime aspect of it. But, I remember correctly, some things got painted certain colors during wartime because those were the colors they had available. Oh, I think I meant, okay, I want a little bit right there, but other than that, I think that's pretty even. That said, if you're watching what I'm doing here and you're not a big Gundam head or a Gunpla fan person, apparently, as I do more research, because I don't try to jump into communities immediately on this sort of thing. Oh, 1 second. I'm sure that's good for the end of the inside of the mask. What was I saying about that? Yeah, apparently this particular style of paint is of painting is no longer quote unquote popular amongst Gundam players. It seems to be candy paint jobs and factory fresh are the things I see a lot more of these days. And one day I might try factory fresh. I'm not a fan of candy paint jobs on cars or on Gunpla. But what have I done to this? But I do like the idea of factory fresh as a style. This one, I think I might have... Well, no, I didn't beef that at all. In fact, I could use a bit more coverage. But I do love the matte painted, almost rough textured look that these things come out of sometimes. The work is fine. Anime style or the cell shading style. Oh, shell shading style when it's done right, I do love them sometimes. I think it's a bit too common now for my taste, and it's certainly not something I'd ever want to try because it's not a style I like to display. But impressive and in the right cases beautiful. So, family and Texan Reverend talking a bit about a electroplated Gunpla with metal paints when. I mean, I have some very nice metallic Vallejos sitting just over here in silver. Might be interesting to do. I think I'd love to try coating one of the Grandpa models with copper and then letting it oxidize naturally to build up that beautiful green patina finish. So consider that as a possibility for the future. Oh yeah, object source lighting, also an interesting technique. Like there's so much room for experimentation in different styles in this hobby that I don't think there's any reason to say any one way of doing something is correct. If you just want to cut out the model, if you just want to break things off the sprue and jam those pieces together, heck, friend, you do you. Have fun, because that's what this is about. It's about building cool robots. But I am really enjoying the process of creating something that doesn't exist anywhere else. There are many Nightingales, but this one is mine, and none of them look exactly the way that I've done mine. Well, it's going to be super cool. This is another one I need to be careful with because, again, matched parts. I've been doing a lot of reading about scribing lately, and one of the things they talk about there is the importance in properly matching your scribe lines. And that's probably going to be the next Gunpla I try to build will probably involve some form of scribing to it, which is, now that I remember what the next Gunpla I'm intending to build is, woo! Get ready for the version K double zeta. Now, honestly, I'd love to make it into a, not just a ver-K, or version KA, which is apparently the proper pronunciation of ver-K. The version KA version, I'd like to do a, not Makoto Kobayashi. God, why can't I think of the name? Kazuhisa Kondo, yes. Wait, no, that's... Kazuhisa Kondo is the composer for Nintendo. The Gundam Kondo. Their double zeta is one of my favorites. Having not rewatched Zeta, but having listened to a rewatch of it on GundamPodcast.com, I've forgotten how much I actually liked that series, unironically. Yes, it does start off with a huge amount of cognitive dissonance if you're used to furious Gundams, but it makes up for it in the latter half, or latter portions of the series, when things do continue to get just ridiculously furious. There's the toe. Oh, you're looking. Ah, yeah. I am being super cautious, it looks like. But I don't want half of this thing to look like a goddamn clown. Princess Intel is, in fact, yes, Universal Century. It is the last Universal Century television series before Char's Counterattack. It's part of that initial trilogy of Gundam series and then movie. It was Tomino's beginning to end. Honestly, you can kind of think of original Gundam through Zeta as original Star Trek through Next Gen into Deep Space Nine. Not saying that Double Zeta is a Deep Space Nine. It absolutely is not, but it is definitely a better Gundam than some of the series that came after it. In which case, I will call it a Deep Space Nine. But it definitely does. It doesn't tell a coherent story all the way across all three stories, because one of the interesting things about Universal Centric Gundam is that it's not about big ideas. Okay, here we go. It's about small groups. Like Zeta Gundam is about a small business that decided to turn into a terrorist organization to fight the main Earth government, or to fight an offshoot of a small special team of the Earth main government. Anyway, I was about to put more paint on this, and I think I don't, because to match that other side, that's almost perfect. That's almost perfect. Top is perfect. Front is perfect. Airbrush is down on this piece. Ah, oof. So for those of you unaware, the Gundam Zeta, the second Gundam series, Zeta might just be a stylized 2.
Right. Always, by the way, if you're doing PPE, always do a fit check when you, or seal check when you move, move around your PPE. On these masks, it's as simple as blocking the airway inputs, so like pushing in on the center of the filter, and just making sure that the mask sucks into the face. Because if your mask isn't actually sealing, then your mask isn't doing anything. Much like if your airbrush doesn't have paint in it, it's not going to paint anything. I don't keep count anymore when I'm reloading the paint bucket. All that matters is that I make sure to put the right number of drops in when I'm putting things into the paint bucket. When the hot food is coming out of the brush, then we'll just use it as it comes. Such good Gundam footsie. Seriously, these are delicious. I'm not a feet man, but on this particular mobile suit, I will make an obsession. Exception. Whew. Freezing. It's not just for other people anymore. Alright, let's start off with the top. Kind of magical to seeing the color appear as you spray over top. Let's do the white interior coat. Let's see where we're supposed to go with this. Looking at pretty close, I'd say. Ooh, yeah, very close. Bottom, back side's just about there. A bit more of a blast along the edges. And then just a bit more at the top here, and same on that side. I think we are, these are extremely important to match, because we're looking at, these are the shoulder binders. These are going to be extremely high visibility parts. I think we're at the stage there where that's good. Again, it looks a little bit brighter because it hasn't dried. When it dries, we're going to get a much better match color there. Okay. Oh, Princess Intel. Gundam War is a dense beast. You looked up the Nightingale entry on the wikis. Yeah. Like I said, this is a mobile suit from the manga adaptation of the novel version of Char's Counterattack. So this suit never actually got a animated version, at least in any of the mainline series. It might have gotten an evolved short. People love doing that. But let's remember that that Gundam the series invented, well, didn't invent, but it probably did invent, but it formalized the position in credits of a mechanical designer. Like, there weren't, as far as I know, there weren't mechanical designers, quote unquote, on series before Gundam. And that matters, because that's the sort of thing that allows us to get things like Macross and Evangelion and the rest. But yeah, this is absolutely 5 layers deep of Gundam ephemera, and I love it so much. Because honestly, as a fan, the Nightingale is in my mind, far and away a superior suit aesthetically and technologically to the Sazabi. Don't get me wrong, Sazabi's pretty cool, but it's no Nightingale.
Even the lore portion where they talk about the pieces moving in such a way that it made a chirping sound across that could be detected by new types is such a choice feature. I sound like a total weeb. Well, that's good, working as intended, or at least
looking in the mirror. Let's cross this over. I'm actually just in general a huge nerd for mechanical design and series. I have opinions on ships in just about every series where there could be a ship, and I'm not talking AO3 here. Looking good. All right, so let's finish up. We got 4 of these, and then we've got our large friend here, and then I guess we need to decide on something else. You know what? Maybe. Let's finish up what we've got here on the team side, and then let us maybe mix a new color. Why not? Maybe not. We'll see. We'll figure this out. Melody asks, we've seen Corey play, but has Ian played a hard space shipbreaker? Not yet. Kind of interested, but also I have a problem playing games where you are doing literal actual work. It feels super weird to me. That said, I'm still also only about halfway through, though I'm probably on par for platinum completion of Ghost of Tsushima, which is my current game of choice, and love that. Need to eventually one day, I don't know, maybe sometime before I retire, get a hold of the PS5 and play the game on in 4K. No rush on that. I have plenty of Gundam stuff to do. And Kill Team, and actually film videos with Loading Ready Run. What I'm saying is I'm not hurting for ways to pass time. Oh yeah, no, Melody. The specifics of deconstruction and the cutting apart and the air management, resource management in space, such a cool thing to me. So that appeals. there's that middle portion of, I'm not sure how many of you out there have read Neil Stephenson's 70s, but that middle portion where they're starting to deal with really living in space and working in space is some of my favorite science fiction recently. For instance, until on this very stream, I've taken apart old toasters and turned them back into old toasters. In fact, I need to do that again because my recent toaster has decided it's not doing the thing anymore. I'm going to readjust that, do some tests on it. But it's interesting to mention taking apart old toasters and turning them into a spaceship, because I am, at the moment, and almost constantly, thinking about kit bashing and taking some other kits and maybe mashing them together with some Gunpla and making something that's completely new and without precedent. What was I saying about that? A friend of mine, or coworker at in my jobby job, passed along a X-wing
T70 X-wing model that their son didn't want anymore, and so I was originally going to use that as a test bed for doing scribing and maybe a few other model techniques. And then I thought, hold on a second, I can take the wings and the engines and things out of this and apply them to some sort of a Gunpla, make something new and interesting. So we'll see what that happens. Taking apart a toaster on stream when Big Burly, I don't know if I'll do that. I don't know if I'll do the troubleshooting on stream because I don't know if it will be. I don't think I can make 3 hours of it. But if you go back to the archives, you can see me open up and repair and clean up a Sunbeam radiant control toaster. One of the automatic beyond belief toasters. And love that toaster. And love that episode. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Iris. What are the odds of getting that kit bash on TTSF? I'll have to do some measurements and looking, but it might be just fun to play around with. I think if I were to do that, I'd want a couple other models in hand to take parts from to push things around, but could be fun. But it's going to be worth looking into, I think. All right, let's finish up these red parts here. We got coming up on the end here. Alternatively, we could just go back to white and do up some of my homework parts. I want you all to have a good time here. These, oh, I love the way these look when you get the when you just leave the black from the primer in as a shadow. I was going to say, you almost don't need the panel line. I am absolutely coming through and panel lining things after the fact, but I just, the shadows, the interplay of those lines is just crisp and fun. Okay, do I have enough paint? I think I have enough paint to deal with this big boy. Let's bring out the other part, have a good look at it, make sure that we're going for the same style here. Bring that there. All right, no going back. I mean, there's obviously going back. There is absolutely going back. Please, 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 if you feel like you've ruined a Gunpla by painting it, do know that you can stick it in an ultrasonic cleaner or just a bath of isopropyl alcohol at 99%. You can get it back down to the plastic or close to the plastic, especially if you're using an airbrush. It's all flat. You can't ruin it. It just takes time. And God willing, the rest of you aren't doing this as streaming entertainment for other people. You're just doing it for yourself.
That said, the last time I did a Gunpla just for myself, I think remembering the, looking at the pictures, it did take me about 6 months of on and off work to get it to the stage where I was considered done with it. And I still haven't done some of the weapons for the GP03. And moreover, I haven't done some of the, not weapons. Need to go back and reseal some of the decals. I was repositioning it the other day, and it ended up lifting a decal on the back of the thigh, and I was like, oh, that's not good. I also want to go back and see if I can fix... Woo! Just dropped a piece there. See if I can fix some of the... what have I called them? I was getting a bit of frosting on some of the cover pieces. That's my thing for that. The top coat on the weapons was getting a bit frosty, and I need to see if I can fix that. But otherwise, it was a good build. Interesting to us. The Gunpla hobbyists have the same problem as 40k builders where they keep drawing models and not painting them. I believe you are referring to everyone who buys models that require painting or could use painting. If you follow Matthew Wiggins, Matt_LRR on Twitter, he posted a while back his pile of shame of just Gunpla, which is getting close to my personal height. Not the height of my adult Gunpla, but the height that I am as a person. And I don't have that kind of a stack, but that said, I do have at least... Oh, I don't have a stack, but let me count the number of models I've got. So I got the Machine Krieger. I've got the second Machine Krieger at the office. I want to paint the 711 in Gundam, so I can get that proper. I have the Wound Wart, the TR6 Gundam. That's the Gunpla project. So it's 4 Gunpla models I have not yet built, plus the Zeta, or the double Zeta that's on pre-order, so that's 5. I have Saga,
Saga of Snow Fairy Sugar. That was the anime. God, wow. Anime from the 2000 and noughts. So got her. Let's use my test normal human figure, because if I need to practice doing a human figure with human flesh tones and eyes and hair, because the thing that comes after that is one of my... It wasn't even a chase figure. It was something I found in a used shop in Akihabara when I was back there in, I want to say 2008? Seems like the right time. Point is, I've got Hitomi from Escaflowne, the version of her that shows up on the first soundtrack, if someone can pull that up, with her with the small, I guess, half-foot wide backpack wings. And I want to do a good job of that, because Escaflowne was absolutely one of my favorite series, one of my first anime series growing up, and honestly, one of my first anime series I'd ever seen as an anime, because it was playing on Japanese television while I was there in '96. It's part of the homestay, and just discovered it by channel surfing. So, yeah, Escaflowne has got a big portion of my my otaku cred.
Okay, it could be the Kotobukiya kit. It's like it's the one that's 4 inches tall. And if that's the Kotobukiya kit, it's been a while since I pulled it out of the storage, because I don't need to. But it'll happen soon. And yeah, I want to do that justice, importantly. All right. Uh-oh. I'll check that later. Yeah, you don't... someone's pointing out way down in the chat there that you don't have to paint your Gunplas. I made the mistake of doing it and really, really, really loving the results of painting that Gunpla. And now, any Gunpla that I build that I love, I have to paint that. I can't leave it unpainted. So I don't buy a lot of Gunpla, but the Gunpla I do love and do buy is probably going to be painted every time. Let's see about that too. Oh yeah, future Gunpla purchases. I think off the top of my head, in terms, I've really started to love the MG, the Master Grade, because I love that 1 to 100 versus 1 to 144 scale. Things that are bigger are, you know, easier to paint, nicer to look at. This, by the way, is a 1 to 144 scale, not even the big ones. But, looking at a Master Grade Dom or Rick Dom, because I love the Doms, and definitely considering a Master Grade Kibble of some sort. And I know that P-Bandai just opened up their orders for the Kibble special version. But I don't know if I'll end up buying that. I'll just see if I can make it work at retail sometime in the future. Because money is a bad thing, right? Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. This fine's got some maybe information here. Yep. Worker spine, or was it worker spine, or can't tell from the flat. Where's my links? There's a mat. Good on that. Okay, yes. Yeah, yes, it is the Kotobukiya kit. There's absolutely that for Hitomi, and oh yeah, I'm excited to put that eventually together. Cool. Okay, top of the hour. That means it's time for a break. So I'm going to stick these friends. Hold on a second here. I'm actually just going to give this a bit more with the paint it's got in it. Oh, come on. Damn it. Why you got to do me like this, paint? I want to even things up a bit, and then we're going to call that good for the red. 5 more drops should be enough to take care of it. I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to decide what to do for the next little bit here. Maybe we'll just go back to dusting things off with white, and I can do the reds on my own time. That maybe seems like the best use of our time here, actually. Alright. I'm going to say that's good. So, actually, you know what? Because this needs to get done, it's not a break if I do it off stream. Let's clean up our pot while we're here.
Oh, let's open that up and have another drink here. Have a good night, Sir Markov. Thanks for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you here. Let's fill it up with that. Now, this mecha color is very sticky stuff, so it doesn't like to grab a hold of the Q-tip the way that the other stuff does, or the way that the white does. Empty that out. Just wipe away some of that paint. Like the idea is that you want to wipe it away in such a way that it doesn't stay in the system. Good lord, yeah, that mecha color really likes to adhere to just about everything. Yeah, I'm gonna want a toothpick to take care of that. Especially for going back to the white. Thankfully, I keep them around. Handy, so let's just... Honestly, we'd probably be okay if we had some of the white or some of the red in with the white, because it is going to get covered up in the red, but I prefer to have things as clean as possible. All right, let's that. Do a little backwash. We can dump that back into the bendum. There's a little bit of paint still in there. Yeah, this mecha color, I understand it's supposed to be very good for adhesion and toughness, so that when you're posing your models, you run less of a risk of damaging the paint. But I haven't painted anything with it to the extent where it's getting moved around yet. There we go. I think that's all the floaty bits in there. And of course we'll want to clean out the tip when we're actually fully done, but let's see how that does. Okay. Big suck. And let's just see if we're shooting. Okay, it's out there. A little more. Yeah, we're shooting just about nothing but white. Yep, that's nothing but white now. Okay, good. That means that this is a good time for us to take a short break. So, folks at home, get up, swap your fluids, stretch your legs, and we will be back with a bit more Tinker, Tailor, Soldier Fry, with a bit more bonus highlighting after this. Don't go all the way away. Smoothie in. Keep not having your keyboard in hand when you do this, and then when you go to turn it off, everyone will notice. Hey folks, welcome back to Tinker, Tailor, Soldier Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name is Ian. We are in the middle of our Nightingale build. And by build, I mean paint, because we are taking it from this mono red injected plastic look to something that's a little bit more spooky and, well, not spooky, but it's shaded. It looks good, dang it. And we're going to continue doing that here by jumping into, much like the way that you used to get your work done during class in high school, now we're going to start working on our homework during class, because you're all here stuck in class with me for the next couple well, not couple hours, next less than an hour. So let's do some parts of this. Let's grab some sticks and clean up all that later. I want sticks. Please do not attach yourselves to my magnetic wristband. Sticks. Stick. What I need to do is find a better place of housing these sticks rather than an old. What is this? What tea company was it back in the day that that Kevin Rose and all the tech bros were loving? Not that I want to give them business, but that was the tea company I ordered from. It wasn't Tetley, that's for sure. Camera freak out. Oh no! Let's there, and then, so this is going to be undercarriage, so that's going to be black. This is undercarriage, black. This, I don't know. I think this is black as well, because it pops up through bits on the center. Okay, yeah, here we go. So this one, this piece goes in here. And yeah, absolutely. The interior piece is black. This part is absolutely going to be red. Or I could just, turn them over and find out which one we're going to be using. Let's go with the big D. So this one, I'm curious about. I don't know if you can, oh right, because it's still touching the vibration. There we go. You can kind of see the ridges there. The way that those two pieces come together, and I don't know if I like that. I think I might have to go, yeah, this weekend I might go make a trip down to the local hobby shop and pick up some Mr. Filler 2000 and just fill in that seam there, because it's unsightly, and I can't have that on my Gunpla. What are you thinking? That said, this is black, it stays black. This is red, let's make it red. This is yellow. We need an entirely, or orange. We need an entirely new color for that to be dealt with. This one, I think, is also black because you've got the mono eye here. This is part of the head assembly. Gray piece, gray piece, gray piece, gray piece. Still want to do more in terms of filling these tanks up, and we probably want the Mr. Surfacer for that. Ooh, God, need to sand that end. Make that all nice and helpful. Gun's gonna be made into its own gray color. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. This is red. This is their bottom piece. This will turn red as well. This is red. That's red. That's red. Red. Black. White. Black. Okay. This is great, because this might mean that we are at the end of red pieces. In which case, good on us. Let's see how many we can actually load up right now here while we're working. Okay, this one's special, so it gets a wooden piece. I had this piece on on one of these metal ones, and while it was drying, it actually ended up just poking itself down. So we're going to give that something a bit more, what do you call that? Rigidity. Let's see here. This one doesn't need to be that, but we can... Ow! I jammed my hand with some wire and it felt bad. Felt bad. This one probably needs a stick in one of its holes. That's... Nope, you know what? Phrasing doesn't matter anymore. Phrasing never has once happened. What do I call these clips? So I think the clip itself is called an alligator clip, but when it's attached to a stick like this, I don't know. I'm sure it has some sort of an official term, but I am not aware of what it might be. If anyone wants to help out with that, please feel free. Excuse me. And again, whew. Maybe there's something in my mask that I need to be aware of. Friends, if we can get through all of the red parts today, I'm going to be pretty... Well, not red up all the red parts, but at least... highlight all the red parts. I'm going to be stoked. That's super progress. Okay, that's good. And the shield. Okay. Well, let's get out a... Guess we're using the official Nekonote station. Mr. Nekonote, Mr. Cat Hand. And let's get spraying. Hey, folks, if anyone out there has watched it recently, what's the name of the show? Nadeshko. Is Nadeshko worth a rewatch these days? It's been so long since I've actually watched it. I think this is going to be connected here is where we want. I think. All right, let's get PPE on. Let's do it. It's always fun seeing the color of my filter on the fan, on the box here change. You can't see it, but it become much more red over the course of the stream than it has previously. Let's get this glove on, despite being unpleasantly moist. It is keeping my fingers clean, and I like that. Yes, Rose McGee, Martian's successor, Nadeshko. Your wife screams yes to rewatch? Perfect. Love it. Okay. Maybe we'll cue that up then after we're done Lupin Series 2. Oh no, after Victory Gundam. That's what I'm currently in for my mech. For taking care of the mech cravings. And Victory Gundam is actually one that I haven't seen any of. So, shit. I just poured red paint into the place, or into the thing. So I need to pour that paint back and clean it out, and that's probably a good waste of a few drops. Dag nabbit, that's my fault. Alright, let's see if we can pour that back in there without too much of a hassle, and then clean it all out because it isn't dried at all. Oh, shoot. Well, you can't win them all, folks. And by them, I mean, oh God, what have I done? Hands. To quote Gumi, the shattering lorikeet. And yes, I trust that everyone has done their own homework post the last episode and caught up on the various antics of Gumi the parrot. So that's important for all of us. God, what hath I wrought on my own hands? Put on a glove and do this? Okay, we need to wash this sucker out. Q-tip, how's our time? Wiping everything. Thankfully, that cleans out real fast when nothing's dried on. So, give it a wipe with the other side. Redundancy's sake, give it a surface backwash and let it through.
A little bit more there, just here. Although again, a little bit of red in the white isn't going to matter too much in the end of things. Okay, our paint is still, it's settled a bit, so let's give it another stir up. Going to bend them over, stick it in. Whoop. Through there. And we're just going to take this, throw that out. A cup full of Gundam white. Clean up the pet just a bit. And let's get to giving that a white speckle. Looking good, if I do say so myself. Okay, and now part one of the big ol' Nightingale dong. Okay, you know what? With this, I may be falling out of love with the, oh god! Whew. Yeah, I might be feeling out of love with this, this particular paint. Oh god. Ah! Where's my other napkin? It's now decided to go all over the place. Not having a good day. Not having the greatest of days with this paint. I think we just, yeah. All right. Is that what you're up to today? Custom Apple Watch build? There we go. That's how we like to see it. This is going to be this is one of the centerpieces of the model itself. So I think we want to be sure that that is the way we like it.
Take half a second, have a drink. Relax a bit. Get the other... Drop a piece on the floor. Get the other side of that centerpiece ready to go. All right. Now, thankfully, because this is all center stuff, I don't have to match anything, but I do want to make sure it looks good. All right, center, another center groin piece. The thing has a complicated groin, is what I'm saying.
That gives it a bit more top, if you like. One's going to need right down the center. I don't think I do anything else there. Just square right down the center line and, well, maybe a bit on the sides. A little bit down the back, just to give it some texture. That piece is good. Here's the bottom of the gun. Same sort of technique. We're going to go right up the middle, 3, 4 times. Fill in the sides a bit. Maybe once more down the middle. That's good. Maybe just, yep, from the bottom. There we go. Happy with that. Yeah, that's going to be a good looking piece there. Except this bit, actually, not going to get too much in here because I think this is black. We will get the sides. I think that's going to be the kind of shading we want there on that one. Like it. Good. Is that even? There we go. Now that's even. Need a bit more to compensate for the light. Sean says I'm working a lot faster than Cameron did on crap shots. Well, I mean, this is some very preliminary stuff here. So we're getting down the light, but we've already had to lay down primer. The white highlights are up next. After that, we're going to do red, and then on top of that, we are going to do clear coats until we get the decals down. And then, after we've got the decals and the panel lining in place, then we'll go over it once again with a matte finish, and that'll be something special. There we go. Sides. Just fill it once more across the top, and that's going to be, oh, love it. Love it. You love to see it. Except for me, I guess. Absolutely detest it. Okay, and then we're going to do I think that's what we want for that. And then around back, similar style. Just a little bit of texture there. Oh. I'm going to be happy with that. Okay, and now comes the fun part. The final piece of the equation. What brand of primer does I use? Asks Dylan the Squig. I am using Vallejo air primer out of a bottle and then putting it through the airbrush, and it is great.
Okay. Big tail section. This is our last. This is actually, now that I think about it, our last major red part. We aren't going to get the red onto it today, but absolutely are going to get this ready for reddening. And progress! We're making progress!
All right, let us Got enough weight in there, absolutely. And let's go. Okay, I like it. Try and cover and follow the natural highlight motions of that. I think even it out there. I think this is a tail piece that I can be happy with. Well, maybe just a few more evens. Even out Stevens. Okay, anything more and I'm gilding the lily. Gotta stop it now. Okay. That is how it is done, and by how it is done, I mean I'm gonna have to move this clip. All right, there we go. Put that in the cat station and take off the glove. Let's spray out the white paint. Fill that up, and then let's do the cleaning. Let's get her done. Y'all are here for the interim. Let's do the show. And it just goes away. Love it when that happens. Well, gotta let that dry out. Open up the airways, and folks, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. As you may have been paying attention, my name's Ian, and I want to thank you for hanging out with us, whether you're here live at twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun, or if you're watching on YouTube. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we will see you in a fortnight's time. Never in Fortnite, ever forward, learning out of spite. And now that that's done, we can move on to the live stream portion of the ending of the show, in which we thank you all for your continued support over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. You keep the lights on in many places, and we love you for that. Check out store.loadingreadyrun.com if you want to buy any of our merchandise, and especially if you want to make Beej happy. And of course, make super thanks and membership and become an Ask Master over at youtube.com/loadingreadyrun. On top of all that, we want to thank those of you who are our supporters here at twitch.tv through your subs and bits, and I've got a list of you here that I'm going to read right now. Going to thank Dedareka for 85 months of continued support. Thank you so much, Dedareka. Thank you as well to Lurker Spine for those 100 bits for the hurrah painting. We painted. No one can say we didn't paint. Chipton is a 78-month subscriber. Thank you for your continued support as well. Also thanking Too Many Knives with 42, the nerd number, coming in. Thank you for your support. Big Burly 97, thank you for joining the channel. Hope you're liking what you're seeing, and hope to see you next time. I should bring up the big me. Big me, there we go. Neuter Commuter, 70 months, thank you for 70 months of commuting without
You know what? I'm going to leave it there. Key to Victory 686 is a 3-month subscriber of supporting my favorite internet comedy people. Big love to everyone. Big love to you for your support, and thank you for watching. And of course, a big thank you to watching, and thank you for supporting Lord Zorano for 88 months. When this Nightingale gets up to 88 kilometers per second, well, you'll be seeing some paint. We're moving ever forward with this particular build, folks. Big progress today, getting things made. I am looking forward to the day when we can start applying decals and doing panel one together, because that's a lot more relaxed and far less noisy. But in the meantime, once again, thanks everyone for watching. You can check out all the great shows and the schedule over at loadingreadyrun.com/live. And as I said before, we will see you in a fortnight, never in Fortnite, but ever forward and learning out of spite. Good night.